Oh, it's been a few days since we said bye to the others in Nashik. Still no news about Raru. If only he was gone.
Hello! You must be the traveler in Pipe. Mr. Flint has been looking for you. Unfortunately, there's been a serious wild hunt attack over at the quarry.
A wild hunt? Oh, uh-oh. Come on, let's go!
I can barely sense any Kuvaki at all. This whole area feels like a soulless husk.
Looks like his appetite truly is insatiable. As if the power of that energy cannon wasn't enough.
He's not seriously still getting stronger? What's his endgame here?
Ah, everyone's here already. Hey!
We've all been on high alert since we split up a few days back, expecting Rarir to strike again. But it's like he just vanished into thin air. No one has seen him nor found any trace of his presence. That is, until this morning, when a ratnik found signs of wild hunt activity while out here on patrol. As you can see, the crystalline itself is physically intact, but the Kuvaki it contained is all but completely diminished.
And we're sure that Rarir did this. Who else? He's the only one who could pull off a stunt like this.
Kuvaki loss has reached critical levels. Reiki of Solnari set to maximum threat level. Warning, unless de-escalation measures are taken soon, he will pose a threat beyond our ability to...
Traveler, do you remember there wasn't a shred of sanity left? Nothing but madness and rage.
Yeah, didn't he shout out a bunch of names? Then he started raving about how nothing in this... Oh, Paimon gets chills just think...
Last time we fought, we were already at a disadvantage.
Yeah, if I were him and I wanted more Kuvaki, I'd just take it by force. No point staying in the ship. Unless something went wrong. His whole resurrection thing didn't exactly go smooth.
The other thing is, how does someone who's completely lost their mind still have the wherewithal to cover their tracks so perfectly?
Beats me.
According to certain medical studies, insanity does not...
That actually sounds about right. He was ranting away to himself the whole...
There are many unanswered. Besides his name and title, we know little about him.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even know where to begin looking. Even Boss hadn't heard of the Rahir of Solnari before. I'd be willing to bet that even if we gathered together every scrap of intel in Nodcry, we still wouldn't find more than, like, 3 useful facts about him.
So, if we do nothing, he'll just keep getting... Last time we had Marionette and her big robo-buddy to help us, and we still barely held our ground. Oh, Paimon's head...
Well, I do have a little hunch about his next move. Given that he attacked the quarry, I'd say it's likely he'll target somewhere like the Eye of Krati.
A perfectly reasonable hypothesis.
I agree, we should split up.
Wait, why he...
If I recall correctly, your largest goddess statue was carved from Kuvaki-rich ore, was it not?
That's right. Yes, it could...
Splitting up's always gonna be risky, but...
And if we do run it...
That's when you follow the 3rd rule of treasure hunting. Run.
Didn't you say the 3rd rule go with the flow?
I don't know. Did I? Anyway.
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a
All right, we'd better get moving. Come on, Ineffa, let's go.
Any leads?
Nope. Diddly squat. No clues to where he might be hiding. It feels like we're sitting on a powder keg that could go off at any second. Oh, I hate this feeling. I'd rather face him head on.
So, you guys didn't find anything either?
Not loving the word either. How about you, Flints?
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspicious individual. But by the time I got to his place, he was already gone. Almost as if he knew someone was on to him. Either that or he's just extremely cautious.
He's been biding his time for a while now.
No idea.
All we can do now... Wait, he's actually here?
No, it's Silver Moon Hall. The Lady Kutar might be in danger.
Let's get over there, quick! Why is he attacking the damselette? What's going on?
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehuda, get Kutar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Felindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
barely made it out of there alive. What's that guy's deal? How'd he get so crazy strong?
He's a threat to this entire nation. I doubt his strength could even be measured by...
I have a question. When me and Anefa showed up, we saw him chasing after this lady like he wanted her dead. What was that all about?
We weren't there for the whole thing either. They were already duking it out by the time...
Yeah, we didn't see how it all started. It all escalated so quickly.
Kutar, can you shed any light?
Kutar. Cross-checking database.
Wait, she's the moon goddess? Oh, no wonder.
There are many reasons why people might worship the moon. And I've never met that person before. But there was no mistaking his deep-seated hostility. Why he holds me in such contempt, I cannot say. But since he hunts the power of the moon, it's no...
Kutar.
There are many potential motives. For instance, you help the traveler escape his grasp. This could be his way of taking revenge. It is also possible that he covets the Kuvaki inside you and seeks to take it for his own. The list goes, but right now, devising a counter-strategy should be our...
A counter-strategy? We don't stand a chance against... Surely our only option... No, I can't say that.
Running is our only option.
Huh?
You seem surprised. But what other choice do we have? We are facing an enemy we cannot possibly defeat in battle.
Well, I mean, yeah, but...
It's not too late. I can distract him, so you'll have plenty of time to...
Wait, what?
Doesn't that make sense? I'm the one he's after. There's no need for you to risk your necks on my behalf. A coyote doesn't stop for bypassers while it's... What is it, Lama? The Frost Moon Scions have already grown accustomed to life without their goddess. My presence here is no longer essential, and this is not my home, so you needn't ask me to stay.
We can't just roll over and let him get away with...
Yeah. Besides, she'd pretty much saved my life back there. If I just ditched her now, I'd never forgive myself.
We can't overlook that you have saved our lives multiple times now. To talk of returning the favor...
Rira's true objective remains unclear. Even if we were to sacrifice Miss Kutar, there's no guarantee he would stop.
But...
Kutar, I know why you left the Frost Moon Scions so long ago. It was because people started treating prayer as a form of trade. They would make self-centered wishes, force you to accept meaningless offerings in return, and then expect you to perform miracles for them. As if it were me, I might have walked away too. But I believe that time can change everything, and that sometimes it takes losing something precious to appreciate its true worth. After much reflection, I've realized that this was never about whether the Frost Moon, any relationship based on you were born here, and now you've returned. Who knows? Perhaps it was the moonlight that guided you home.
Thank you, Lauma. But my power is on the wane. I'm afraid I will be of little use to you now. Very well then.
Both times you saved us, we were transported across great distances in an instant. Is that one of your powers?
It is, but I find it very draining. I barely managed to pull it off just now, and it will be some time before I'm strong enough to do. Rejected by the world, my power is dwindling. Like a lake, cut off from its source, slowly shrinking away.
What do you mean, rejected by...
The 3 moons belonged to the ancient bygone era in which they came into being. From the moment I was born, the world itself has been steadily sapping away at my strength. The 3 moons are not one and the same. As the goddess of the Frost Moon, I cannot wield the powers of the other 2. Yet moonlight has a way of blending together. Each can reflect the other's glow. So when our fingers touched, I was able to restore my strength by drawing Kuvaki from the Eternal Moon's marrow. But this method of recovery is painfully slow. If only we could find the...
It's the Wild Hunt!
Even faster than we expected. We'll have to finish this conversation later.
See how those wild hunt creatures are running away from us. They're likely just a scouting party.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get the...
Lush as the moon, with one heart, we pray.
The night comes.
They just keep coming! This is driving me nuts!
The rear's closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace.
There's too many of them! And this time, we can't fall back on Kutara's house to escape! If this goes on much longer...
Observe to dust. Beware the creatures of the night. Be silent. Close your eyes. To dust.
Flash attack!
Preparing for dust up.
By the frost moon's hands, leave his house.
The long sleep beckons. Be silent. Close your eyes. Night falls.
King Dun Water Bomb! Go claw!
Ultimatum protocol.
With one heart, we pray. Forest,
The night comes. Observe. Close your eyes. Fear the dark.
Preparing for dust up.
Flash attack!
for the everlasting forest.
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Uncle Varka! You're back from Amsvartnir? Whoa! You're Varka? Grand Master of the Knights of Favonian?
We could save the intros for later. Right now, let's get you all out of this hellhole. Follow me. I know somewhere you'll be safe.
Oh, is that where I think it is?
That's the one. Come on, move!
Wow! Where are we? This is so well hidden.
Well, that goes without saying. AKA, the black market of intel. No matter what faction you're with, it's the place to buy and sell information. Their headquarters are in Nodkrai, but they've got contacts in every nation, as an expeditionary force on foreign soil. Anyway, where were we? Allow me to introduce myself.
We've heard all. You look way younger than Paimon expected. But you definitely have that Grand Master vibe.
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsvartnir without a wink of sleep, only to get right into another fight with that freshly revived maniac.
Another? You mean?
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise, but he saw us. My squad took heavy injuries, and I barely made it out alive myself. We knew it might have been our last chance, so we staked everything on it. But still, it wasn't enough to stop him. I tried tracking him down afterwards, but he didn't leave a trace. Even in his unhinged mental state, he's as cautious. So, I decided to come find you. And as luck would have it, turned up to find you being ambushed by the
Is that why he's been frantically absorbing Kuvaki these past few days?
Maybe I'm part of the equation, but even if I weren't, I'm sure he'd still be gathering power. He's clearly working up towards something.
Note to self, Uncle Varka's strength rating officially upgraded.
Guess it's my turn to ask questions now. So, what exactly has been happening in Nodcry? Why has the Wild Hunt returned in humanoid form? And why is it after you?
That's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick.
Wow, I had no idea so much had happened. Sounds like you guys have really been through it. So, the Kutar is actually a Fatui Harbinger. And all this Wild Hunt activity in Nodcry is the work of the Raker of Solnari, one of the 5 sinners. That's a lot to take in. Need some time to wrap my head around it all.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Varka. You stood with us against the Wild Hunt and did everything you could to stop it from escalating into a full-blown—
You've got nothing to apologize for, Miss Moonchanter. You can plan 100 steps ahead and still slip up. That's just life. And, to be perfectly honest, I can't say I'm surprised. For all the times we've defeated the Wild Hunt in the past, we've never been able to completely wipe it out. Turns out, we were just delaying the inevitable. But now that a new variable has come into play, fate may well take a different course.
A new variable?
Who else? And in a strange way, I think his resurgence might not be an entirely bad thing. The Wild Hunt is like an unrelenting force of nature, but Rerir is an individual with an agenda. He's gotta have a weak spot somewhere. That said, while I was explaining everything just now—
You mean about our mystery out?
That's right. From what you've said, not only did they lead you straight to some key files, they also shielded Hisi Island from a lethal Kuvaki blast. I don't know who or what could pull something like that off.
I hadn't heard the story about those files. Would you mind repeating their titles for me?
Wild Hunt Phenomena Log, a Nodcryan Ratnik's Field Journal, and Kuvaki Survey Log.
Oh,
Another dead end. Guess I'll— Still, it's safest to assume they won't be intervening again. Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. But once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, it sounds like his scheming began well before his return. But is it even possible that he orchestrated all of this by him? The Moon Maiden and the Raker of Solnari, in Nodcry of all places. The way everything is unfolding, it can't be a coincidence.
So, what do we do now? Got any ideas?
Right now, we've got at least 3 things to consider. Let's go through them one by one. First, we need to figure out how to take down Rerir. If we can't beat him in a straight-up fight, the rest won't even matter. To my knowledge, the bulk of Nodcry's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still growing.
what if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
Have you thought of something, Columbina?
3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest. The Frost Moon was the brightest. And the Iridescent Moon was the most They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense power. Enough to shape the workings of the world itself. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's merit.
Hold on. Are you suggesting—
The iridescent moon.
That's right. If we can find the Iridescent Moon's marrow, I will be able to regain my strength much more quickly.
the 3 moons are said to stir the tides and illuminate all things?
According to my analysis, the solution is feasible. However,
I know a way, but we will need to visit the Fatui's Experimental Design Bureau.
The Experimental Design Bureau?
Yes. I must speak with Sandrone.
It's a long way from here to the Experimental Design Bureau. There's a high chance you'll be spotted. You shouldn't—
Then that's settled. As you saw for yourselves, When he was still in his wild hunt form, everything he did was for the sake of recovering his body and resurrecting himself. People's obsessions often reveal their greatest vulnerabilities. There must be a reason why he despises the moon so deeply. Perhaps it sheds some light on his title, the Raker of Solnari. The Wild Hunt has plagued Nodcry for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good...
It's true. We still know very little about him. If Kuthar hadn't given us that lead, we wouldn't even know his name.
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of Nodcry has a clue, and she has info coming out.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly meticulous when it comes to dealing.
Ah! She hurt me!
Boss! What are you doing here?
I'm now asking myself the same question. I received a letter from a humble knight of Favonius, requesting a meeting to discuss a major business deal. But it looks like this humble knight had something else in mind.
Details. Miss Sneffer, since his failed ambush, we can't do this without the...
Wait a sec. How did you even hear about this? Didn't you say this is meant to be the Knights of Favonius' meeting spot? And a contact hub for the Northern Intel...
You really think he could have gotten settled in Nodcry without my help? Besides, I'm the one running this gig. Of course I know where the meeting place...
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's intel you're after, she's your woman. Pretty much seen and heard it all.
Please spare me the flattery. Let's cut to the chase. Well, this certainly...
So you're just going to sit this one out?
Why should I get involved?
What if we told you?
Oh? Then I'd say...
I can't put a price on something like this. It's just not in my nature. If you insist on compensation, I will pay you. Consider this...
You just don't give up, do you? Too bad. I know you well enough to know you can't afford my prices. The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a Moonchanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning to start passing the donation box around among the faithful.
Boss, just a thought. If they come up short, maybe you can take the difference out of my next few paychecks. Things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir. If this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be leyline. If there's any way we can make this work...
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. They are the hardest debts to repay. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well, Yehoda, I will help. But just this once. Don't Flynn's. That fragment that Rerir was after.
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to...
Wait, you actually have...
Shh. This is Tom...
I get it. We all have things we'd rather keep to ourselves. Plus, I know we can count on you. And that brings me to the third and final item. We need to find a way to distract him. I'm in for this part, no matter what.
And count me in too.
Come off it, you two. Quit playing heroes. I'm way ahead of you here. Nefa did a scan of the Moon Goddess's Kuvaki signature, and we're gonna use it to make some decoys over at the Kramkake craft shop. Anyone who's in, follow me. Once they're ready, we'll deploy the decoys across Nodcry. So as long as the rest of you keep moving, he won't catch on to your scent and won't be able to track you down.
I like it. Genius idea.
No biggie.
All right then, we'll split into 3 teams. Once your team has finished their mission, return here and wait for the others. Dismissed!
Lady Damselette. Wait. And you two? What are you doing at the Kuvaki Experimental Design Bureau? We've been doing our best to mind our own business lately. But if you're just gonna...
Huh. You really think that?
We're not looking for any trouble.
Do I need to remind you that you're still a wanted fugitive for deserting us? Out of consideration for our former ties.
Let them in.
But...
Are you going to make me repeat?
No.
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood.
So tell me, to what do I owe the honor this time? Actually, before you answer that, just so we're clear, we're not colleagues anymore.
I promise it's nothing big.
It seems like you've gotten the wrong idea here. The only reason I let you in was because I was bored. It seemed like a way to kill some time and satisfy my whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past.
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What?
Huh? You mean...
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the rooster and Regrator. The only ones in Nodcry are me and... What is it you need to speak to her?
Rerir is hunting me. If I'm going to face him, I must first retrieve the lost... Is that a no, then?
As if I need reminding. I was this close to settling things with him before someone decided to whisk me away to their weird...
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent and sensitive guests who won't stop asking where you've gone. Oh,
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to me when I upset you.
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around to drink it? First Rosaline, now you? I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than a multi-centenarian goddess who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time.
Well, duh. Why else? Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around, too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Have Febronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea. Will suffice.
Pass along a message for me, too, if you would. My body cannot contain the marrow of 2 moons, so I'll be leaving one of them in her care.
Excuse me? Who said you were on the guest list? If my tea meant that much to you, maybe quitting the Fatui wasn't your brightest. Back when you were under the Tsaritsa's protection, no one would have dared come at you so openly.
But that protection didn't come for free. In fact, I paid dearly for it. At the end of the day, it was I just got tired, that's all. I never wanted any part in their grand ambitions, and I've had enough of being treated like a bottomless supply of power. It brings back memories from the old days, when I was still worshipped as the moon goddess. Centuries on, it may be a different group of people.
I figured you'd leave eventually. You didn't have as much of a reason to stay as I do. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back just because the higher-ups told me. But if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies for real.
Guess that's our...
That might be your plan. But it sounds like someone else wants you to stay a little...
Huh?
See for yourselves.
My lady, it's the Wild Hunt.
Another uninvited guest trying to crash my tea party. Clear the area! I'll handle this.
Wait, what? You want us to leave you here by yourself?
Huh, you'll be lucky to make it out of this alive. You really... Go on, get out of here. Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in the weapon system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, stare all you want, Columbina. You're not getting...
I know.
This is exactly why you shouldn't hang around with those people. All their melodrama and sentimental nonsense. Come on then, Mr. Ray here. Let's pick up where we left off. It's your Wild Hunt monstrosities versus my beautiful creations. Polonia, get him!
I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for...
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey, over here, you big...
Curse it. Moon. Go. Keep searching. She cannot have gotten far.
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past?
Good deduction. But it's quite a different affair from what you're used to with the Frostmoon.
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was off limits, so I pictured some kind of creepy Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where Boss is from. And that nice shopkeeper who sold me my treasure compass.
I'm not sure exactly what you've got planned, but it...
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this isn't going to end. I've never faced Rarir myself, but from what you've told me, his power is beyond anything I could... I, on the other hand, am just an ordinary businesswoman. Our paths should never have crossed, yet here I am, forced to make an...
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary.
Once I take a job, there's no back. And also how to make sure death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equalizer, however...
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been... That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Hey.
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easygoing she is. After that rude awakening, she could have completely snapped at us. But instead, she kept...
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two doing business.
If you want to make it big and not cry, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of intel that interests me. And she also did me a big favor in the past. It was back when I first arrived in Not Cry. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp, had an adverse reaction to the Kuvaki and fainted. And when you know it, that's when I suddenly find myself in a life or death. I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, so that no one here feels left out, I'm willing to extend a 20% discount to fellow friends of Boss Nefer, plus any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangama Bay is nothing. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble?
You guessed correctly.
The one type of gear I've never been short on. What are you looking for? A jetpack fresh from the Academia's labs? An ancient suit of armor dredged up from the bottom of the sea? At the very least, I need to know what kind of opponent you're dealing with here.
What if I told you it's someone with the power to bring a nation to its knees?
Is that so? Then we really are...
Your supply?
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily for you, I hear she's if you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that? Roll over and serve yourself up on a silver platter?
Of course not! I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, no! This is for my personal use only!
Let's just say I'm borrowing it, all right? Just for insurance. Favors are the worst kind of debt to owe.
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 more. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all. Take care now.
See you later! You're my...
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now begin. After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. So remember, don't be frightened, and don't make a sound. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past. I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Simple furnishings, table and chairs. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble beginnings. Unless this passed for luxury in Conria. Unlike... Anyway.
Hi, Rivier. Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep myself busy by checking out that new kebab shop. I've heard good things about. I'll test it out. P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin rack. Hope you like them.
They didn't sign their name, but they must have been...
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really... But if he invites me again, chances are...
The Lindis. That's the same name...
Crane imports keep falling. If things don't... Honestly, I'm not a huge fan. I don't care if it's an impressive feat.
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. Could it be because Conria is underground? So that would explain why they use so much stone in their building. They even use alchemically modified strains for food. Seems like the people of Conria don't have many options when it comes to...
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it.
Making a big purchase. He really is a professional. No wonder he's so good despite what he's become. It seems like he's retained certain... Did Rary rip it out himself?
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was nothing more than a stagnant, the burial place of a fallen moon. A withered, windless... It was you who helped me see that my heart...
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of hiding that? The burial place of a...
Reverie, over.
Dane! Oh, and, Vedaflin here?
Hello there, Reverie. You need not address me so formally outside of court.
He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then, right?
Well, So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have a few drinks.
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to...
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even greater gossip?
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed...
So, are you planning to come clean about your...
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need...
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. A member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story. Does the king himself even know?
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me.
Me? Same old, nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Ved?
It's nothing.
Vedaflin, Dainsleif's elder brother. Renowned throughout the court of Conria as the Visionary. And said to possess a wisdom far beyond the reach of anyone. And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about me. Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his brother, or just another of the Vinster King's blades? Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were talking?
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. So this is perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more...
Felindis? You're back early?
Our equipment's being serviced today, so Aw, why the long...
Went for a drink with Dane and the others after work.
Isn't that a good...
Vedaflin showed up today, too. You know, Dainsleif's older brother.
Ah, Mr. Vedaflin. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends up coming true.
He overheard Dainsleif mention that I'd recently proposed, and seemed to have an issue with it. But when I asked what it was, he kept it to himself.
So, you're worried? We're nobodies. Why would the Visionary be I'm sure someone in his position has...
Maybe you're...
You worry too much, Reverie. We've been together for ages now, and everything's been going so well, has it not?
So, you do remember. Tell me.
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things.
All right. Nobody's. Sounds about right. In the eyes of people like Vedaflin and Dainsleif, can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Besides, the dynasty's fate, meanwhile, every idea they come up with and every decision they make, it affects everything. These days, the king is lost in his research, and the purge of the Crimson Moon bloodline grows. The opposition tried to speak out, but nothing came of it. A man can have 1,000 What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Can he... Felindis? It's nothing. There's no reason we can't keep living happily together, cherishing the simple joys of each day as they come.
See? You just need to stay positive, Reverie. I can feel your warmth, your breath. Just seeing you makes me happy and That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin...
You go ahead. I just have a few things.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started.
Relax. Seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really...
Well, that goes without saying. Besides, they're two completely different things.
All right. White outfit it is.
It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services by giving the impression that he was just an ordinary member of the Vinster King's Guard. He clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancée to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence... Who'd have thought we were in the same line? Let's dig a little deeper.
Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Rehir of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 60...
After all these years since the dynasty's fall.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was... Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse to see the truth, choosing it...
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance. And that's exactly why they keep trying to see it restored. Many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of...
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay. Speaking of which, someone, it seems, has strong opinions about...
Your concerns are not unfounded. Take care, Rehir of Solnari. I look...
Thanks, Thorkel. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you should... The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there are those who would call forth a dead moon's ghost. Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some court secret he's not at liberty to share? I have to get a clear answer from him.
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight Sword. So that's what they were really like. I've investigated this whole area now. Should I try somewhere else? Wait a sec.
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rerir. You're in for it.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I tempt you into...
Oh, sure.
Thank you. But,
For someone so...
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying. May we have a word in private?
Who are you?
And it doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take the... Not long ago, the Rehir of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered many casualties, and many who came to our aid lost their lives.
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me.
Wait, hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rerir, and he claims to be one of the king's...
What did you...
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple.
How strange. Rerir was nowhere to be seen in that memory. Rerir couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear? The ceremony won't last much longer.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull us inside Rarir's fragment to spy
Any more questions, and I'll have to start.
I had no idea you could do that, boss! Seriously, that was amazing! We're not worthy. I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what happens next.
I'm just as curious as you are. But the ceremony only allows for limited time inside. Luckily, we managed to learn.
So far, so good. I just hope the others are doing okay, especially the group with the Traveler.
If you're worried about them, go see how they're doing.
If I know boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all...
Oh, they've been prowling around for nearly 2 days now. These things just won't quit. Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but that's never gonna. If they spot us, they'll run straight. Oh, guess you're right. Quick, hide! We almost got spotted. Phew, that was a close call. Watch out! They're coming this way! Keep going. We're nearly there. This is the final hurdle. Oh, there's no end to these things.
Fire.
Fire? Wait, what's that smell? Oh no! There's a fire!
Sandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while.
stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Ugh, whatever. I've got a... he sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you?
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Wait a minute.
Hello, Miss Santorone. Father sent us a...
Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that Catgirl touches ends up going haywire.
Then you've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some.
Did they run from home too?
Illusion shattered!
Wayne. Commit it to memory! Share my knowledge! A new moon rises.
Shower me with praise! Let the world come alive!
Grow, grow, grow! There is no escape! Transcend all constraints. Inazuma shines eternal!
This way for you. Make yourselves a home. A moonlit night for all.
Let my name echo in song! May I
Shine down!
Commit it to memory. Find anything you like?
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one.
Huh? Feels like there's...
I returned ahead of them. Flinch is helping Aino and Anefa to set up the decoys and buy us some time. As for...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end. She sent us back to fill you all in on the top secret intel we've...
I see. But first, who do we have here?
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before?
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon name, or you're more than just a tea...
You are well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nodcry, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart.
Oh, the feelings...
A Fatui harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense.
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to the
Nor does Nodcry belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, your things don't always have to have a tangible payoff. Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really have been the source of We have our own way of doing things here in Nodcry. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have...
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to do with the Fatui. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the... But she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the...
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic. The dregs of the Crimson Moon.
In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of
To my knowledge, those were the names of two different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon, drawing a mysterious power from its reflection. But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of...
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnari to secretly hunt down the Crimson... In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal as a... What's the matter?
Stephanie, Rhine-daughter, Flinders.
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Thelindis' memories, though only a very small portion.
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Thelindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Thelindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though, were these pure-blood Conrians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conry, oh yeah, just like how it would...
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain...
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. That merchant who never knows, Dori Sangama Bay.
All right, then. Let's Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino. As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the Wild Hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search for Kutar. At this rate, the people living here...
I'll head back to the curatorium and...
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be... Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. If that is the case, Someone will need to pass the news on to Flint's. I'll hold the fort for now. Then discuss our next move with Flint's, Ino, and Anefa when they get back.
All right then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything,
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Stay safe, everyone.
We're back. Did we get here a little...
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, everything going smoothly on...
Not great. I don't know how long we can... I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right!
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the wild hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flint's intel, several outbreaks of the wild hunt had already... That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words...
Flint's. With everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Nodkrai are I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, Anefa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal's a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Ino's predictions increased.
They were bad.
It's the obvious choices.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second. Since you brought us all, we still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here.
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon, and one of the last surviving embers of the Two Worlds' flames.
Huh? Are you serious? Isn't you're a descendant of that...
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through my veins and smoldered away inside my nerves. What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me. Exactly. That is why my hand, together with my own investigations over the past few years, there are several things that I have gradually come to understand. For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its life. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a...
Yes, and that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug of war.
Whew.
Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson Moon or the Iridescent Moon that you're unclear?
Paimon has a question. So, the crimson moon that the Karians used to worship was actually the iridescent moon, right? Which was one of the three. Does that mean that the Karians were to the crimson moon as the frost moon scions are to the frost moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like. But I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the Abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heirs of the Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, even with the Dark Sun...
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar in your presence. When I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my...
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letter, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself, you intend to...
That's right. For now, it's the only way I can pay you back for your help. The iridescent moon is already part of who you are. So with its marrow in your possession, you'll be even more powerful than...
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started? What does this place have to do with the Crimson Moon?
When I first became a Harbinger, the Jester gave me a book called Paranhari, also known as Leobranto Inamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era, but setting aside the tangled romances of its character. In the Crimson Moon era, or so...
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real? And what...
The Crimson Moon sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing they might lose control, they made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted to having died and seen a crimson moon. The adults embraced the book leaves much unsaid.
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can...
There's no fireplace here. Do you see a chimney anywhere?
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, those burned away by such flames leave behind a kind of ghostly afterimage in the world. In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. The catch is I'll need to stay on this side to keep the passage open. Very well. Then I'll open...
Traveler, spare me a little more moonlight if you would. I may need... Thank you. I feel like I've recovered...
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice. As you're crossing over, no matter what voices you hear, do not...
Got it!
I sense a sinister gloom inside. But also the familiar... I feel that I am about to meet an old friend. who has changed beyond all recognition. All right.
I sense your presence and crave you death and rebirth. Wait, why are you? You have crossed over from another world, transcended fate itself. I have no right to.
Hey! Look up at the sky! A red moon! This must be the spot, right? Is that the abyss? It's practically filled the entire...
What a tragic sight. Fragments of your broken body.
Careful! There's some... Paimon's right behind you! By the way, Columbina, didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon had shattered into pieces? The moon up there looks pretty whole to Paimon. How is that possible?
Just like I thought. It was only a facade.
Stop that! Grow! Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion! Huh? Huh? For real? That's way too high! There's no way we'll be able to—
No. I'm not sensing anything up. It's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see... Ah! There's some kind of weird shit. Wait, see that? study the Crimson Moon's domain, and they left this behind. Oh, if we can activate it, we might find some clues. Look at that! Now that the mechanism... Do you think these mechanisms might be the key to unlocking the secret?
Thelindis, we'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the...
Thelindis? Is that Rear's girlfriend? How come we're hearing her voice here? Oh yeah!
The Abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here.
Whenever I see this view, waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping for me, of all people.
Right.
Looks like the Abyss has messed up this mechanism. We need to find a way to get it working again. Let's see if there are any other devices nearby.
Surge. Illusion shattered.
A new moon rises.
So the moon marrow, or rather the power of the 3 moons, is the key to unlocking... If it really does exist, then maybe this madness...
Show begins!
Take cover behind the rocks!
the Abyss inhibitor's in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Rerir, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
Hey, look! The moon's reflection is back to normal! Felindus's voice mentioned a chamber with the moon marrow.
It must be.
Then there's no time to lose! These things are so creepy! Looks like we'll have to destroy them if we want to get to the iridescent moon's marrow! That must be the iridescent moon's marrow! Oh, but we'll need to destroy these things before we can reach it! I see everything!
There is no escape! Now you shall perish!
Surge. Converge.
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame, yet now contaminated by the abyss. It has taken on a new form. If we can purify the abyssal power with
so... Is it you?
Huh?
At long last. I can see you once more. I'm sorry. I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the moment the moon shattered. My body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If you look so puzzled, but trust me when I say that
What was that all about? It sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But none of us have ever met her before, right?
Perhaps. She took me for the god for a fading soul like hers.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon's marrow now. That should help you regain your strength. All right, time to... That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in.
Waning moon.
Huh?
Oh, lifeless damsel.
Oh. Hurry!
All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy.
Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart!
Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for?
Oh, wait, is that you, Arlecchino? Wait, your hands! They're...
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little angry. No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy whatever's left of them.
Oh, we're so sorry.
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, the truth is I was simply holding up my end of the deal.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care. From this day forth, may the two worlds' flames burn ever more brightly.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina, give me your hand. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina!
I'm fine. Our power—
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned. At least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. There's no way I can hope to challenge Rayrier like this. Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay. I can take...
How about now?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like before. I want to see him gone from Not Cry. The ray here of Solnari and his wild—
Well, it's good to have something to aim. When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the Frost Moon, once the brightest of them all. May you keep shining, Columbina.
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, but whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down the same path as Rayrier.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina. Although perhaps—
A new name?
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina, they're nothing more than code names. They describe who she is and the roles she's played. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. Up till now, you've been living a wandering life. So all I'll say is this. Once you've all right, that's it from me. I'll get you back.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character.
It was a close call, but we got the iridescent moon's marrow and restored Columbina's In other words, mission accomplished.